Hello and welcome back to another week in new genre books. My name is Amelia and from Locus magazine I'm about to tell you the top new science fiction, fantasy, and horror books being published the week of January 16th, 2024. Not that you need more books on your to-be-read pile, except what am I talking about? Of course you need more books on your to-be-read pile. First up, science fiction, we have 4 books. From Ray Naylor, a Locus favorite and acclaimed author of The Mountain in the Sea, we have The Tusks of Extinction, out from Tor.com in hardcover and ebook. This is a science fiction eco-thriller novella. Russia has resurrected the mammoth species. Cue poachers. That's a problem, so the digital consciousness of a late expert in elephant behavior is uploaded into a mammoth's brain. I mean, isn't that the afterlife that an elephant expert would want, being uploaded into a mammoth's brain? From Subodhanya Vijayaratna, we have Triangulum, out from Rosarium Publishing in trade paperback and ebook. This is a far future biopunk science fiction space adventure of the 9 worlds of Surya. The godlike Dawn and her Triangulan allies rule humanity, but then the old order sort of falls when Dawn's estranged sister Night comes to right an ancient wrong. From Alistair Reynolds, we have Machine Vendetta, out from Orbit US in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a science fiction novel, third in the Prefect Dreyfus Emergencies series. Prefect Dreyfus worries that one of his cases was involved in the death of a Panoply operative. From Marie-Helene Bertino, we have Beautyland, out from Farrar, Straus, and Giroux in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a quasi-science fiction first contact novel about an alien born on Earth to human mother, but with knowledge of a faraway planet, and able to communicate by fax with her extraterrestrial relatives, sending reports on the oddities of Earthlings until, as an adult, she is tempted to share her messages with the people of Earth. The charm for me is the fax machine. Nobody uses fax machines anymore except for the government. If all we had to do to contact aliens was to use the fax machine, we'd probably do that. From David Weber and Chris Kennedy, we have To Challenge Heaven, out from Tor in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a military science fiction novel, third and final in the Out of the Dark series. Earth, having driven off the alien Shangari 40 years before, now needs their help against the evil aliens of the hegemony. Next up, horror, we have 2 titles. From Anne Fraistat, we have A Place for Vanishing, out from Delacorte in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult contemporary gothic horror novel. Libby's family returns to her mother's childhood home, hoping for a new start after Libby's bipolar diagnosis, but the place has a dark history of disappearances and masked seances. From J.L. Kiefer, we have Debut, This Wretched Valley, out from Quirk Books in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a horror novel about rock climbers in Kentucky, beset by horrors both human and supernatural, inspired by the Datlow Pass incident. Next up, fantasy, we have 8 titles. From Kamilah Cole, we have So Let Them Burn, out from Little Brown in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy novel about Farron, a Jamaican girl chosen to be the host for the gods of her island nation, which freed them from dragon-riding colonizers. The new peace becomes fraught when her sister's soul bonds with one of the Empire's dragons, a first novel. From Andrew Caldecott, we have Simul, out from Joe Fletcher Books in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a dystopian/post-apocalyptic fantasy novel, second in the Momenticon series. Remember Simul, the last words of a dying man, words which will take Morag, Fogg, and their friends on a wild ride through caverns and over mountaintops into old paintings to a university unlike any other, and up the lethal tower of no return. A ride where mythical beasts and legendary monster hunters and the forces of a corrupt establishment led by the murderous Cosmo Vane lie in wait. From Amy Pokwatka, we have The Parliament, out from Tor.com in hardcover and ebook. This is a fantasy thriller novel of children and adults sheltering in place in a public library from a flock of deadly owls. Reading a children's fantasy novel for distraction. Who, me? Make a pun about deadly owls? I'll just be here telling you that the Audubon Society says get over a parliament of owls or a murder of crows. They say those terms are accurate but maybe too goofy to take seriously. So says the bird people. But really, Audubon Society, are we really willing to let go of so much comic potential? A Roomba of rattlesnakes, a congress of salamanders, a venue of vultures. I didn't know those last 3 before today. From Heather Fawcett, we have Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, out from Del Rey in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy novel second in the Emily Wilde series. When mysterious fairies from other realms appear at her university, curmudgeonly Professor Emily Wilde must uncover their secrets before it's too late. From Christy Healy, we have Unbound, out from Blackstone Publishing in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy novel inspired by Irish lore and the story of Beauty and the Beast. Rosalind waits in her tower prison for the curse to be broken. So when she meets Jamie, a charming and compelling suitor, she allows herself to hope that her days of solitude and patience are over at long last. But as she finds her trust betrayed and new, more sinister threats arising, Rosalind learns that some curses are better left unbroken. A first novel. From H.M. Long, we have Pillar of Ash, out from Titan Books UK in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy novel, fourth in the Four Pillars series. Yiska, daughter of the legendary warrior priestess Hessa, has dedicated her life to medicine and pacifism in service to Aita, the great healer. When her twin brother Baron, hungry for glory, gathers a party to investigate rumors of strange sightings in the unmade, shadows in the darkness at the end of the world, Yiska joins the mission to keep him safe. From Sajni Patel, we have A Drop of Venom, out from Rick Riordan Presents in hardcover and ebook. This is a young adult fantasy novel mixing the myth of Medusa and Indian lore. Manisha survived the destruction of the Naga by posing as a priestess, but a sexual assault gives her a snake-like power and forces her to flee, only to be hunted by a monster hunter she has a bond with. From Amy Avery, we have The Longest Autumn, out from Flatiron in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a fantasy mystery romance novel. Seasons stop turning when the mortal Time and the god of autumn are trapped in the mortal world, and the two are torn between the need to fix things and their forbidden attraction to each other. A first novel. Finally, anthologies and others, we have 4 titles. From Ellen Datlow, we have The Best Horror of the Year, Volume 15, out from Nightshade Books in trade paperback. This is a year's best anthology of short horror stories with a summation of the year 2022 in horror by Datlow and a list of honorable mentions. Authors include Tananarive Due, Gemma Files, Jeffrey Ford, Margot Lanigan, John Langan, and many more. From Christoph Ruprecht, we have Solarpunk Creatures, out from World Weaver Press in trade paperback and ebook. This is an original anthology of optimistic science fiction stories about creatures, from robots and AI to animals behaving in unusual ways. The editorial team also includes Deborah Cleland, Rajat Chaudhry, Serena Ulbari, Melissa Ingaruka Moreno, and Nori Tamura. Authors include N.R.M. Roshak, Tashan Mehta, Justine Norton Kurtzen, Lauren C. Tifo, Rimi B. Chatterjee, and more. From Cécile Cristofari, we have Elephants in Bloom, out from Newcon Press in the UK in trade paperback and ebook. This is a collection of 18 science fiction and fantasy stories. This is the 5th volume in Newcon's series of collections, the author's first collection. A print-on-demand edition, signed limited hardcover, also available. From Karel Capek, we have R.U.R. and the Vision of Artificial Life, out from MIT Press in trade paperback and ebook. This is a critical edition of Capek's seminal 1920 play R.U.R. Rossum's Universal Robots, along with 20 critical essays on the play selected from the 2020 Czech Robot 100, plus an afterword/defense by Capek. The play is newly translated by Stepan Simek, who provides a note. Essays have black and white illustrations. That wraps up this week. Thanks for spending some time with us. Come see us at Locus Mag or at Locus Magazine on most platforms, www.locusmag, or our Patreon. If you got something out of this, please like and subscribe and leave me a pithy comment. We'll be here next week with more new books.